Bring it. Hey, you guys, welcome to
Wait, I have made this. Oh, this nigga.
Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of With This Ring, because it's way more to it, even after the ring. I'm Whitney.
I'm Dee Dee.
So welcome. Alright, you guys, welcome back to With This Ring, and you are in for a treat tonight. We're going to let my girl Dee Dee take it from here and let us know what we are in store for.
Alright, so today I wanted to talk about extended family. And then I wanted to also talk about communication, because there's a communication that has to take place with the extended family. And I see that a lot of times that relationships, they run into a lot of issues because they don't know when to limit that communication and when to extend communication.
Oh, this is good.
So my first question for you, because I know you are very, very close with your mom. Do you have a point, or did you have a point where you had to know, okay, this is something that needs to be between me and my husband and not my mom? You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you've grown up and that's your best friend, you told her everything, then you get to this point you're married. So what did you do and what did you have to overcome to know that this is a limit?
You hit it right on the nail. It wasn't more so just like, you know, she was my friend, because to be honest with you, and my mom can vouch for this, we didn't have just the best of relationship growing up. It wasn't until I became a mother myself that me and my mother's relationship got back close. But the thing is that it was more so I wanted to get knowledge from her about marriage. It was my first marriage, and who else would you want to go to than your mom? Yes, sure enough, she had a divorce, but my mom knew her role as a wife. Tap into my first marriage, and what I learned from that first marriage to make it a little bit better in this second marriage in regards to my extended family, which being my mother in this case. My first marriage, like I said, was my first marriage. You know, and to be honest with you, she wasn't too happy about who I married. But she kept it on the phrase of, if you're happy, I'm happy. And so we kept it as that. And so she would give me little golden nuggets for me being naive and young to the fact I really didn't listen to it. And it was a case in point to where I would tell her, you know, stuff that I don't like about my husband, you know. And the thing we have to realize is that, and I was just tapping on this too with another young lady, that we can get into it with our spouse or our significant others, and we'll tell our mama, we'll tell our sister, we'll tell our daddy, and then we'll be back cool next week. You know what I'm saying? And then they still pissed off, and we like, come on, get on the program, I'm okay now. And it's not really fair because they are still pissed off, you know. So that was kind of a situation with my mom. I would always tell her in regards to my husband, how I didn't like this about him, how he was doing this. She was noticing like my mannerism, and so I will allow her to like get on to my husband. Like literally, like, you know, get on to him, like, you know, sass him or whatever, because I mean, I feel like that's my mama, and she's doing what she's supposed to do. I understand the dynamics of, that's my mom, I'm the wife, this is my husband. And so that was that situation. But then when I got more mature, then I came into the role of being a wife again, into the proper husband. And not just saying, you know, it was beneficial that she liked him, but it was beneficial because it was a lot smoother. But not only that, to be quite frank and honest with you, my husband set that tone with my mom from our dating experience. She kind of called herself setting him up, and was like kind of like she could tell we was into it, because I'm always the one that seems like I put our business out there. I'm always looking mad, and so he's like, we're great, you know. And so she was like, yeah, I know how my daughter can be, you know, bad sometimes, bad attitude, she don't listen. He was like, nah, she good. And I'm looking over there like, no, he ain't. But he like, no, we good. And she was like, I like him, you know. And so I was just like, okay, cool. But okay, so we had cars that we had. We got a new car, we got 2 new cars, and then we still had our old 2 cars. So we were in the process of selling them, you know, and so my mom knew my older brother at the time the car was messing up, and so she was just like, you need to give that car to your brother. Me's daughter Whitney, Me's sister Whitney were like, yeah, that's my brother, let me help him out. And I was like, no, I need to talk to my husband first. And she was like, you know what? You know, and I was kind of like, ooh, you know, you know, I was like, man, that's mama, you know. But I didn't notice that I was right on topic until this moment. She came over to my house probably a week or two later, and my husband's there. We was just discussing. I can't remember the conversation, but she brought up. She was like, "Yeah, you know," and I told Whitney she needs to give that car to her brother, and she was like, "I need to talk to my husband," and I was like, "Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do," and I was just like, "Okay, you know." So, with my mom knowing her role as being a mother, then it was kind of like, it was easy for her to understand where I was coming from. And she didn't take offense to me saying, hold on, let me check with my husband, because at the end of the day, I can't make no decisions without him, regardless if it's family or not. He's the head. I'll come to him with it, and if he feels like it's okay, he'll relay the message, or I'll relay the message. So in that situation, it was kind of more so like, you know, like, okay, mom, like, you know.
As far as what you just said about the decision making, I feel that God set it up that way because us as women, we're more emotional, so we can make decisions off of our emotions, and our husbands, they're more kind of like straight to the point, you know. They're trying to figure out what's the plot or the plan inside the decision.
From what I heard, they just want to fix it.
And so they'll actually be able to say, okay, let's wait a minute, or yes, let's make this decision, you know. So I was just kind of piggybacking off of that because I really feel God set it up that way to where women have to submit to their husband.
Hold on, Didi. What's submitting, girl? Don't be trying to tell me what to do. Okay. God, where did they get all this submit? What is that?
What's crazy? In the Bible it says, wives, submit to your husbands. But then it also says, and husbands, also submit yourself to your wife. So
can we get our definition of submission though? What does
submission means? Basically, to sum it up, means to stay under. Just like as we submit to God, it says submit to God. To stay under. There's protection under. Just like an umbrella. You don't stay on top of your umbrella. You stay under your umbrella.
Okay, when you're submitting to your husband, let me give you the analysis of it all. When you're submitting to your husband, you're not necessarily submitting to your husband. You're submitting to the authority that is going, which through is your husband. You're not submitting necessarily to that man. You're submitting to the father, because the thing is like she said, the umbrella effect is this. It's God, it's your husband, it's you, then it's your children. Okay, so you're really going through your husband to get that authority out of him. So that's what you're submitting to. So when you're not being submissive or submitting to your husband, you're not being submissive to Christ, and that is the ultimate authoritator. You doing that to the Father, okay? So I got chills. Like, this is not necessarily being bossed around and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And you know when it's the Father talking to and using your husband, and when it's just him being in his flesh, because y'all become one. Y'all are in the process of becoming one, so you know the difference. And anything that your husband asks for you to do, you gotta understand it. It's for the best interest of you and your relationship.
The umbrella effect. It's for your safety and your covering. But I want to touch on going back to the communication with in-laws. Me and Ken, we had a situation where, you know, I was upset at him. I called my mom and I told my mom, you know, he did this and he did that and he did this. And my mom, like, you know, even though she's had a few marriages, my mom is still, when it comes to the children, she's non-tolerant. She's kind of like, no baby, you didn't been there, you didn't did this, you are valuable, move on, you know. And once she said that to me, I kind of was like, yeah. And then when she said move on, I was like, hold on. You didn't like move on, like divorce him. It was kind of like, move
Get
on.
over it.
Yeah, move on from the situation. But I took it as she was saying to move on, like leave them. And so during that time while I was, you know, in miscommunication because I was in my emotions, I was kind of like, yeah, I need to leave them. But then after that, she started talking and talking. As I realized my mom was trying to tell me, you know, Dee Dee, move on, you can get past this. Then when I start seeing that, you know, it becomes a protective thing when your parents get upset that you're being treated wrong. That it's not that they dislike your spouse, they're protective. So because they're protective and they have their love for you, it's kind of just in their best interest, in your best interest also, that you try to keep them out of certain things. It's hard. It's hard.
It's extremely hard because I found myself like, oh, I want to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like to be honest with you, you can't tell some girlfriend stuff. So you feel a little bit more comfortable telling your mama, your sister, your family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or more so you would think you'll be okay. In regards to your siblings, like, you know, I know that's extended family, but you know, as far as your siblings, like, you know, drawing a line of disrespect. You know, in the case of maybe some verbiage or something being said to your husband, like, how do you handle a situation like that?
I actually had a situation like that with my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law and my husband are 13 years apart. So basically, when I met my brother-in-law, he was a little boy. He was like 8, 9 years old. You know, I would come down there and he would think making fun of me or calling me certain names and doing stuff. He thought that was funny because at that age, that's what they do. Well, me and him had never had that relationship. We've always been lovey-dovey because he's always been a baby to me, you know? And so as he was growing up and he's being annoying, you know, first few times I played along with it, then it just got old. So then I got upset at my husband because I'm looking at him like, you gonna check your little brother?
So you seek to that family member?
Yeah, because I was getting ready to, but then I'm like, no, that's not my place. You let him do it. You know what I mean? So I talked, you know, I looked at my husband. My husband was like, well, he playing. So then finally he was playing a little bit more. Then when we got to his mom's house, me and my husband went in his room. And I told him, I was like, no, you need to talk to your brother. Because if this continues, I'm going to get with him. Their relationship is kind of, because they're older, his brother respects my husband. You know, so after he spoke to him, it wasn't like a long out conversation. It was something real quick, and he told his brother, you know, I was joking with her. And then after that, my husband came to me and his brother, and he apologized to him. Touching on that, this is my advice point. Whitney gonna put a little cute advice. Yeah. So anyway, my advice point, and I got this wisdom from my pastors. If you have an issue with something that your in-laws are doing, so meaning like me, if I have an issue with something my husband's parents are doing, I let my husband address that. I'm not gonna go to his mom or dad and say, you did this and I don't like this. No, I'm gonna let my husband address it, but my husband is not gonna go to my in-laws and say, well, Dee Dee said. No.
Well, that's good.
The way he's gonna address it is, like, let me just give you an example. Say if I don't like bacon, but every time we go down there, my in-laws are cooking bacon for breakfast, right? So my husband is not gonna go up to, well, I'm not gonna go in my mother-in-law's kitchen and be like, I don't like bacon, stop cooking bacon. The second thing my husband is not gonna do is gonna go in his mama kitchen and say, Mama Dee Dee don't like bacon. She said stop cooking bacon. What my husband's gonna do is, hey Mama, we're trying to explore more healthier options. I'm gonna go to the store and get some turkey bacon for you to cook for us in the morning. Do you mind doing that? My husband's gonna resolve that issue. I'm not gonna do it, and he's not gonna go saying Dee Dee said, but he's gonna protect me.
Not throw you under the bus.
Exactly. By changing the verbiage of communication to my in-laws on my behalf. It's both, we're protecting each other, because at the end of the day, your family is your family. You can make them mad, but they're gonna talk to you forever, right? Because you blood. But if it's me, I'm not per se family. We're becoming family. So they can talk to my husband, but not like me at all.
Has there ever been an issue to where a family member kind of got in between you guys or tried to?
So he used to come and he used to ask his dad one thing, and his dad would say, well, go ask Dee. So he'd come ask me, and I say one thing, well, then he would go back to his dad, and then, you know, kind of manipulating the system. And so it would cause me and my husband to kind of almost rift, you know. And once I start noticing what was being done, because he's a child, you know, he's gonna do nothing but be a child. When I start noticing what was being done, then I start saying, okay, I spoke to my husband. I was like, okay, Ken, when we make decisions, we gotta make decisions together because this is what's going on. And then, you know, it was certain times my husband, he would be like on defensive mode towards his son. So like one time I had told his son I didn't want him using his cell phone in church. Well, I seen him with the cell phone in church, so when we got in the car, I took his cell phone from him. But because I didn't communicate with my husband what was being done, my husband thought I was basically like doing something rude. To be honest, I don't know what he thought. The cell phone back from me and gave it back to his son because he didn't know what was going on. So what we decided was, because you know that was like an experience, so I kind of was like, even if I'm wrong in how I discipline him, you don't tell him in front of him.
And whatever I say at that moment, that's what goes. And then off to the side, you
then we talk
babe, I don't like how you did that.
Yeah, so we had to establish that because we didn't establish it beforehand.
Right.
So we had to establish that after the incident happened. So then after that, I told my husband, I was like, if he sees you continue to do stuff like that, when you're gone, he's not going to respect me like he needs to respect me. So at that point, because we start seeing what his son was doing, every decision we made concerning him, we made together. And it was not in the presence of his son because his son is a child. His son has no say-so in the decision. So we would say, like, his son would ask us something, and then we'll be like, okay, give us 1 minute, and we'll tell him either if we're in the living room, go to the room, or if we're in our room, step out. We'll let you know what we decide, you know. And then at that point, my husband will either tell me, go ahead and give him the verdict, or he will give him the verdict, because at the end of the day, like I said, he's a child. We didn't want to, you know, make it seem like this person is this person. It's easier to speak to, or this person will always say no. Right. We wanted to make sure that his son knew that it was a clear slate of communication with both of us. We're both going to say the same thing.
Well, you guys, we're going to take a brief intermission, so to speak, and check out these awesome sponsors.
Yes.
Move back. So we're actually about to wrap it up. Yeah. I know, it's been good to me. But we're about to wrap this thing up.
Well, I want to say before we give our tidbits, if you guys see any of our videos and then there's something we left out, or you guys have a question, inbox one of us or leave comments below. Go to our email. You know, just let us know, because what we're here to do is give power. We're here to give you guys knowledge so you guys can have power, especially in your marriage, okay? But
before I begin, I'm so sorry. We had a wonderful event this weekend where we had these silly and small in size and stature pint-sized money from Little Women Atlanta.
I see that.
Yes, Whitney Davis Planning actually hosts a private meet and greet of money, and she was so awesome. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna show you guys some footage and some picture of it. She was such a blessing, and I was so blessed by her. And we're in some works with some things, so you guys stay tuned for that information.
So my last tidbit for this section is to make sure that as we're talking about submission, as we're talking about protection, and we're using the symbol of an umbrella to get you guys to understand how much you have to cover your husband or cover your wife. I want you guys to always know that this is not just for in-laws. This is not just for family. This is for friends. This is for outsiders. This is for co-workers. Use the umbrella to protect. When you are talking about your spouse, use words of protection. Not everybody needs to know your spouse's flaws, not your co-workers or anybody. The only person who needs to know your spouse's flaws is you and God. And the power with that, you knowing it, is you can pray. Like, prayer does a lot of things. I've seen it. Yes, I've seen a lot of change, not just in me, but in my husband, in our relationship. And the change only came through prayer. I can't change them. Only God can.
Right.
So that's
and I remember I can't remember what episode it was. I actually shared a testimony of my husband and how when I changed my approach to a addiction that he had and started praying for him, I saw a change.
Yeah.
So that is very true. My tidbit in regards to this whole segment that we were speaking on is that, you know, it's okay to stand up to your extended family, because at the end of the day, you guys become family. That is your family, and you have to understand the dynamics of the role of family. And the dynamics is that you and your family comes before your extended family. That's why it's extended. It says in the Bible that a man, you know, leaves his mother and father and cleaves to his wife. So separation. So you guys become one, and you guys have to protect one another, because when you're protecting one another, you're protecting yourself. I think that's pretty good right there. I think that was good, Well, we're gonna wrap it up, but before we do, we want to say thank you to all of our subscribers. Please click that button down there and press subscribe and share, like, play and sing and share, comment, highlight, low light. Get the word out there that we just want to empower you guys and give you inspirations for your relationship and ultimately your marriage. So with that being said, we want to say that you keep the faith and you keep the hope, and know that it is hard, because there's so much more to it even after the ring. But we're here to help you. Stay tuned.
Bye. Okay. That was good.